The movie kicks off with some mysterious dude, Parker, all decked out like a priest, rolling into Angel's Peak amusement park. He gets his butt inside and snags a ticket from the window for the rides. Then he asks the guy running the carnival game to hook up a little girl so she can win a prize. So Parker chucks all the darts at the balloons and actually manages to hit the number he needed. He makes the kid win the prize, and she's totally stoked. At the exact same time, you got two thieves, Ross and Melendez, trying to drill a hole into the room that holds the cash vault, which is where the tickets drop in. They're rocking clown get-ups too, the whole 9 yards. We see Parker heading over to the vault room, and a security guard named Ben lets him in. Parker tells him he's got a bag and doesn't know where to ditch it because he wants to cruise around the park. So Ben shows him the staff lounge and tells him he can just drop it there. Right at that second, Ross and Melendez finish the hole and pop into the room. They crawl out of the hole with their heaters aimed at the staff, and Parker, right then, whips out his own piece and points it at the employees too. That's when we figure out Parker's actually the gang's ringleader, and Ross and Melendez are his backup. Parker, Ross, and Melendez storm the place and put the fear of God into the staff. Parker clocks that Ben's terrified, so he goes over to calm him down, telling him he won't put a scratch on him. It turns out Parker's got a soft spot. They ask him if he's tied down, and he says he's got a daughter he's crazy about. To really set his mind at ease, Parker tells him, "Tonight, you and Carlson, the fourth member of the crew, will be watching the news." Carlson's waiting for him outside in the car, undercover as a cop. Parker and his crew manage to crack the safe and grab all the dough inside. After that, we flash back with Parker to when he was at a party with his fiancée, and he went to meet his dad, Hurley, who was laying out the plan for the amusement park heist they want to pull off. He introduces him to the guys who'll be their partners on the score, and lets him know that Melendez is one seriously heavy mobster. Right then, Parker's buddy, Hardiock, was torching a pile of hay at the park to create a diversion for people. That way, Parker and his crew could sneak out with the cash without anyone catching on, and Carlson gives them the thumbs-up signal that they're clear to bail, so they all get out of there with the loot. Parker yanks off the wig he was sporting and walks off solo until he catches up with Hardiock, and he just tears into him, totally losing it. They even put hands on him because he burned the hay in the wrong place, which is going to put a ton of people in harm's way. Carlson's car pulls up right then, and they move the cash from the cop car to another ride, and they all jump in. On the way, Melendez pitches the idea to Parker that they shouldn't split the money yet, but instead roll it into another job to make way more. But Parker shoots him down. Melendez tells him to just imagine having a bag stuffed with diamonds, and Parker still says no deal. Melendez asks him what he's gonna do if he doesn't cut him in on the money, so Parker tells him he's gonna whack him real soon. So we see Carlson pull out his gun and get ready to plug Parker, but Parker suddenly lunges at him and starts beating the hell out of all of them, and a crazy, brutal fight breaks out. Parker shoots Carlson in the dome, and then he jumps out of the window and falls, totally drenched in his own blood. Melendez then orders Hardiock to go down and finish Parker off, and Hardiock refuses because he's bleeding, but they force him to go. So Hardiock gets close to Parker, shoots him, and kicks him into the canal. After that, we see the employee, Ben, being questioned, and he says he can't remember the face of the guy who came in, but he was sporting a priest's robe. At the same time, Parker's out cold, and some folks in a car spot him, pick him up, save his life, and rush him to the hospital. Parker wakes up to the sound of the news report, and he hears about the heist he just pulled off that morning. He finds out a bunch of people died in the fire, and he feels like total trash about himself. Parker tries to get out of his bed, but the patient next to him, Gwen, notices and tells him to chill out till the doctor comes and says if he can walk out of there or not, but Parker just blows him off. And Gwen thinks Parker's out of his mind because he's peeling off the bandages, which is a seriously bad move. Then a doctor walks in to take Gwen to his x-ray appointment, and Parker grabs the doc, chokes him out, and takes him down. When Gwen sees what Parker's doing, he's terrified of him and begs him not to hurt him. Parker calms him down, throws on the doc's lab coat as a disguise, and pushes Gwen in the wheelchair like he's taking him to the x-rays. He keeps pushing the wheelchair all the way to the hospital door. Then he ditches Gwen, wishes him well, and goes to jack an ambulance and speeds off in it. When he feels like the pain's getting too much, he hooks up an IV for himself because of all the blood he lost. Then Parker gets back to his place, switches up his clothes, throws his stuff in a bag, and bolts out of his house without even taking a second to catch his breath. He hops in the car and calls this businessman, North, telling him he's one of Hurley's guys and needs some fake papers to prove who he is so he can deal with people. North asks him if he needs any cash, so Parker's like, "You're a real pal, brother, but I'm holding up, fingers crossed." Parker heads over to a cash warehouse, and there's this employee named Jake nearby, so Parker goes and threatens him to get him to let him into the warehouse. But Jake tries to play tough, so Parker shoots him in the leg to force him to go inside the warehouse. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, you can go ahead and do it now, no sweat. Jake totally shuts up and takes him through a back entrance to the warehouse door so nobody sees nothing. Parker and Jake cook up a plan about his partner, Oliver, who's inside the warehouse, and they set up a scheme to fool him. And they actually pull it off. When Parker walks in, he ties up Oliver and Jake so none of them can be a snitch. Then he starts robbing the cash warehouse, taking all the money there, stuffing it in his bag, and walking out like it was NBD. Then he meets North and tells him he needs a car, a driver's license, and some ID. Parker hands North an envelope with cash in it and gets North's word that the papers he asked for won't take more than 5 days. The next day, Parker goes to Bobby, who's Hardy-Ock's brother, and demands he tell him where his brother is. So Bobby flips out and tells his assistant to toss him out, but Parker's like, "Come here, baby. I've been waiting for you forever." And he just starts wailing on him with a metal chair. The dude gets totally beat up for real. So Bobby says, "Look, man, my brother's at Florida Beach. Have mercy on the guy." Parker actually lets the assistant go and walks out of Bobby's place, calls Hurley right away, and tells him they're finally going on a trip together. The day after, Bobby calls Hardy-Ock and tells him everything that went down between him and Parker and how he had to spill his location. Hardy-Ock gets super pissed when he hears this, and Melendez is out of his mind because they thought Parker was a goner. Melendez is about to kill Hardy-Ock because he's the one who screwed up, but the guys try to chill him out and tell him, "It's all good, boss." Melendez calms down a bit, then tells Hardy-Ock to call Denzel in Chicago and have him hire a hitman to track Parker down and ice him before he gets to them in Florida. We cut to Hurley, who tells Claire to lock up good and secure the place till he gets back. Then he just leaves her alone and takes off. Right then, Claire locks the door real tight and heads up to her room to get a suitcase ready. At the same time, a criminal breaks into the house through the door because he's got a tool that lets him open it super easily. He hunts for Claire all over the place, but he can't find her. Claire starts hearing movement downstairs and realizes someone got in, so she decides to bail out of the room window and actually makes a successful getaway. The criminal hears her on the stairs and runs up fast to check it out, but he finds out she went down and popped his car tires so he couldn't chase after her. Man, that's some genius thinking. She jumps in her car and speeds off, totally freaking out and crying, and she calls Parker to tell him what happened. He tells her to go to the campsite and she'll be safe there. She asks him when Hurley's gonna come pick her up, and he says, pretty soon. At the same time, this girl named Leslie goes to the guy she's paying off her car loan to and begs him to give her an extra week because she's completely broke. He tells her he's down with it, but he's gonna repossess her car. So she explains that her job relies on the car, and if he takes it, he'll never see his money. So he's like, ugh, fine, man. Take what you want and leave me alone. Parker heads to North's place to snag the papers, but before he even walks into the office, he's hit with a shocker because Denzel's crew has shown up at North's and is telling him to hand Parker over. Parker walks into the office right then, looks for his papers, and finds out his fake name is Bart. North tells him to off Denzel's guys and makes it clear that if he refuses, North will waste them himself and then kill Parker right after. North then keeps blasting all of Denzel's guys, and after he's done, he tells Parker to keep shooting them and make damn sure they're all dead. Hurley gets worried sick about his daughter who's alone, so he talks to Parker and decides to lie to him, telling him there's no way anything's going down at Palm Beach and that Bobby's just lying to him, and there's no way Melendez would pull his crimes there because of the tight security. Parker tells him Melendez is smart as hell and can hide his crimes, and he's not buying Hurley's story that easy. Hurley's out of options then, so he has to pay Parker the money from the job that was stolen from him, and he makes him believe the cash is for Denzel. Parker gets super annoyed because he knows Hurley's trying to play him, and he tells him he knows damn well that Denzel would never pay anyone off to leave him alone. He insists on going to Palm Beach, and Hurley tells him he's terrified for his daughter and worried about himself too. So Parker tells him that whoever's scheduled to die in a certain way is gonna die that way. Simple as that. Nobody can change your fate, and he sticks to his plan to travel. Then we cut to Leslie in Florida, who's heading to her second job at a tour guide company in Palm Beach, and she's totally stressed because her car's about to get repossessed. At the company, she's not getting any clients, and she finds out her friend is getting a super rich client. She goes and steals his info so she can take him for herself, and we find out that client is Parker. Leslie grabs all his details so she can score a commission from the company. Parker gets to Palm Beach, and Leslie goes to meet him, takes him on a free tour of the city, and keeps telling him all about it. Parker feels totally chill with her and asks her if they can hang out again, and Leslie says yeah. The next day, they actually meet up, and he asks her to show him the houses in the city and tell him a little about each one until they get to the house where Melendez is crashed out. That's when Parker knows he's finally found what he was looking for. Leslie asks him his name, and he tells her it's Daniel, and he also tells her he was born in Ecuador, and Leslie knows right away he's lying to her. When Leslie gets back home, she looks up info about Parker on her computer again, but she finds out there isn't even a credit card under that name. So she knows for sure he was lying to her. Right then, she gets a call from the car dealership saying they have to seize her car until she pays off the payments she owes. At night, Parker rolls up to the gang's house and spies on him from the back, waiting for them all to leave so the house is totally empty. Parker then sneaks in, stashes his gun under a table, and then starts hunting for the gang's weapons. When he finds them, he wrecks them all, literally turning them into scrap so no one can use them against him later. Man, that guy's brain is working overtime. Smash that like and subscribe button, bro, if you forgot. He hears their car coming close, so he manages to bail out fast without anyone noticing him. When he gets down, he's totally blindsided because Leslie's sitting in his car, and she tells him she couldn't find any bank records under the name he gave her. She tries to figure out his deal with Melendez's house, so he takes her to the hotel to shut her up. Once there, she tells him she knows he's here on some illegal mission and that she's ready to help him out, for some cash, naturally. She tells him the people in Palm Beach are sharp as hell and that he needs someone with connections and who knows the whole city. So he tells her, "Give me some time to think." The next day, Parker calls Leslie and tells her he's game, so Leslie's stoked and goes to meet him. He explains his plan. He's here to get his stolen money back, and when he hit the gang's house, he realized they were planning a massive score. They're looking to snag some jewelry, so Leslie tells him it's gotta be Princess Miriam's jewels, which are gonna be shown at a huge auction tomorrow. Parker tells her he's gonna rip the jewels off from them after they steal them and will give her her percentage. Then he sits alone, and Leslie leaves. As he's just sitting there, a dude from Danzel's gang jumps him with a knife and tries to slice up Parker. A crazy brawl goes down, and the criminal puts a bag over Parker's head trying to suffocate him, but Parker saves himself and clocks the criminal in the head, and he's instantly out cold. All of a sudden, the criminal wakes up and stabs Parker in the arm, and Parker, despite the crazy pain, manages to throw the criminal over the balcony, and he's dead instantly. He almost falls with him, but he grabs onto the balcony rail and saves himself at the very last second, and finally yanks the knife out of his arm. The next day, the auction kicks off, and a bunch of bombs go off in the place, which, of course, causes a total freakout. And Melendez's gang, who are disguised as firemen, were the ones who planted the bombs, obviously. We figure out that they were the ones who planted the bombs in the first place, and they head to the hotel, supposedly to put out the fire. But they just jack the jewels and actually manage to steal them. Then they switch into dive suits and head out to the ocean. Parker's already gotten to their house and is waiting for him inside. A few minutes later, Leslie gets to the gang's house and spots them through the window checking out the jewels they stole. But unfortunately, Hardyock catches her, drags her inside, and hits her, and they figure Parker's the one who sent her. They keep looking for him in the house, but no one can find him. But when Melendez looks himself, he finds him and points his gun at him, but he doesn't shoot. Parker grabs Melendez, starts beating him, and finishes him off easy. But Hardyock grabs Leslie and threatens Parker that he'll kill her. So Parker tells him he doesn't have a problem with that. Hardyock shoots at her and finds out his gun's jammed too. Parker shoots him in the head, grabs the jewels, and walks out with Leslie. He tells her to hold on to them, and he'll send someone to grab them from her, sell them, and give her her share. A little while later, a bundle of cash shows up for Leslie in the mail, and just like that, Parker pulled off what he wanted, and all of Leslie's problems in life are totally fixed. Smash that like button if you dug the video, my friend. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments and suggest flicks you want us to recap. And please subscribe to our channel so you get all our next summaries. Peace out.